I've been in your waters. I'm looking for sure. I've never been so close before. It's one way or the other.
What's up everybody, Alex Comstock here with WhitetailDNA. In today's video, we're going to talk early season trail camera tactics. We're out here right now, just got another 3.0 up. We just got back from North Dakota doing trail cameras all day yesterday. I think we hung 7 cameras. And pretty much in this video, I want to cover just everything that goes into early season trail cameras, what I'm looking for, what you could be looking for. There's some places to get trail cameras up in that first part of the season, you know, that pretty much right now, end of August, into that, all the way into that, you know, when the crops come out, that first part of October timeframe. So a couple key things I'm looking for. Number one is if you live somewhere where you can place minerals, bait, stuff like that, definitely would highly suggest it just purely for inventory. That's what I use it for. So when we were out in North Dakota, we are putting down some bait, we are putting down some mineral, and you know, it's helping us just establish an inventory of what bucks are in the area before we actually start to make our moves and actually do, you know, our hunting where we want to try to figure out where they're coming out, what food sources they're hitting, stuff like that. So speaking of, tip number 2 would be to find their early season food sources. So that can mean an array of things depending on where you live. Again, when we were out in North Dakota, we're looking for bean fields, and specifically we're looking for bean fields that are kind of secluded where we can tell they've been nipped at the tops. You know, they're kind of getting mowed down where there's obviously browse pressure there. That's something I find really important. So look for those secluded food sources if you live in that kind of area. Those, you know, if you can hunt a spot and you're looking on, you know, your map or on OnX and you notice there's a corner of the bean field that's, you know, like tucked around a corner where you can't see it from the road, check those spots out. They can be really good and some of my favorite if I've ever found them. Another thing with early season food sources is that natural mast. So depending, if you're a little further up north, areas in the Midwest where acorns start dropping early, you know, we've got a spot that I can think of right now that we know if there's acorns there, the deer are gonna be there early. So we literally a couple weeks ago went into this spot, we were glassing up the oak trees, looking up, you know, realized again that this year it's chock full of acorns. So we immediately got some cameras in there. They're not actually dropping right now, but they're gonna start dropping here first couple weeks of September up here in northern Minnesota. And we know the first 2 weeks in the spot, it's golden because that's when the acorns are dropping. So do your scouting, look for some acorns if you got oaks in the area. Something else you could be looking for are like any kind of natural mast. So like up where we're at in northern Minnesota, a common one is apple trees. If I stumble on an apple tree, trail camera is probably going over it. You know, again, one of our pieces of private this year, you know, I went in, looked last year, we had an apple tree that was just loaded with apples. We had some really big bucks on it. And this year I went in there and unfortunately there was no apple tree. So I didn't put, or the apple tree was there, but there was no apples. So I didn't put the camera there just because I wanted to get back off to where there's acorns. So that's something definitely be thinking about with early season trail camera tactics is those natural food sources. So whatever that can be in your area, go for a scout, look for that natural browse, that natural mast, the bean fields, anything that those deer could be snacking on, you know, in that early September to that early October, depending on where you're hunting and what time of the year. That's something I definitely key in on. The next thing is mock scrapes. So we use mock scrapes all year round, not just during the rut. And we're using them in June, we're using them in January, and we're also using them right now in the early season. So we love mock scrapes. It's a great tool. This year we're gonna try some new mock scrape ropes I just got from my buddy Sam Soholt. He just sent us a bunch. So we're gonna be getting those out shortly. We have none out right now, but we do have just normal mock scrapes out, but we've got lots of pictures and videos of bucks, you know, heads up and licking branches all throughout the summer. And a mock scrape's definitely an overrated thing. You know, people only think of it as something to use during the rut, but I highly suggest using it all year round, especially early season. And then a few other things I want to touch on with early season trail camera tactics is like, make sure you've always got some kind of tool with you out in the woods to be clearing. You know, like when we were out in North Dakota again, we've got a sickle or a weed whacker where we can clear an area when we're on private because the grass is so tall. You know, you're getting to areas that are super thick with vegetation. You want to avoid all those wind pictures and stuff like that. So something to definitely be thinking about. Another thing that I wanted to cover with early season trail camera tactics is don't be discouraged if you're not getting pictures of bucks in an area. So this time of year, that late summer into early fall, you know, if you're 100 yards off, you could be missing a buck's travel pattern completely, right? They're usually doing the same give or take thing, food to bed, and they're not moving a whole ton, you know, that late summer into early fall. So I'd be saying you want to do some constant scouting. If you got, let's say you get eyes on a buck, or you think a buck's in an area, and you put up a camera and you don't get any pictures of them, I would adjust that camera even if it's 50 yards, 60 yards, 100 yards. Small adjustments can go a long ways with early season. You know, those deer don't move very far. And if you're not getting pictures of a deer, you know, don't be discouraged. Even with like a mineral site, we've had, especially in North Dakota, you know, we've had spots where we've had a camera over some type of bait and we have no pictures of bucks, and we have a camera a half-mile away and it's loaded with bucks. So don't get discouraged, you know, just constantly be tinkering, because again, a little shift can yield a huge result this time of year. So that's really what I wanted to cover with trail camera tactics. You know, there's a lot going on this time of year. We're really excited. We are getting into the thick of it here. When this video drops, we will probably be on the way to North Dakota or in North Dakota. So we've got a lot of bucks we're hopefully going to be after, and you know, trail cameras play a vital tool in that early season, trying to help pattern those deer and get on their, you know, their early season pattern. Because if you can pattern a buck early season, you can kill them. If you can get a handful of trail camera pictures of them in daylight especially, now you've got all the pieces you need to make a move. So that's what I want to cover in this video. I appreciate you watching. If you do me a huge favor, hit that like and subscribe below. If you would also, got a link down below to our podcast. We've been starting a podcast here a few months ago. I think we've got somewhere in the realm of 18, 19 episodes out, depending when this video actually hits the channel. So it's something I definitely highly suggest. And I highly suggest, if you're looking for a new trail camera, check out Tacticam Reveal. They've got their new line of 3.0s out now, the X 3.0 and the Pro 3.0. We've been using them a ton all summer. They've been performing awesome. There's some really cool features with them, and I'd highly suggest checking them out. So I appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next video.